this is going to be unedited. This is going to be the first of what I'm going to call work together or something videos. And you know, I have some of these, so this isn't where I'm sharing something that I have some confidence about. Well, not that I have really any confidence about anything, but when I start some videos I make, when I start the video, I have an idea of a thing that I want to express or a story I want to tell. This time, and then in some videos, I have more of a question, or maybe not enough. Maybe I find a question and then I indulge myself and I let myself not just entertain you, but actually think, like in that 9-hour video. So here's what I want us to do. I want us to do a video. I don't actually know how to clean glasses. That's the problem. Last time I wore glasses regularly, I had a girlfriend who was really good at it. You have to do it quickly. Don't press too hard. Press hard. Circles. I have no idea. Oh, that looks good. Ugh. Okay, so see, we're just spending time together. Okay, so the question is, oh, you want to know what the question is? I haven't even told you what the question is. Well, you are patient. How to have a discussion. Okay, so let's date this page. You should have paper and pen as well. So the top of our page in the corner, we're putting 2023 Delta, D for Delber, 13 Delta, D for Deldi, because we are the 4th day of the week, Deldi. The week starts on Aldi, the work week. You have your nice Goldie when you relax, your Foxdy when you party before your Goldie. Then you have your Goldie, you relax. And then it's Aldi, and now it is the 4th day of the week. I hope I'm clear that I'm saying that the week starts on Monday. So we're at Deldi. Okay, so good. So we've got our date here. I'm about to put brackets because I already have, my notes already include this date. Okay, so the discussion question is, or the video question is, we're going to title this YTWT, or work together discussion. We are interested in debates, okay? We're at 0 to 50. We aren't interested in debates. Debates are stupid. Unfortunately, a debate is what we would call, well, what used to be called an eristic dialogue. That obviously nobody knows that term, and so thanks to the millions of you, that will be forgotten, and what is currently called dialectic will also be called eristic. Dialectics is where you and I are partners, okay? And what we're doing is we have thoughts and we have information, and we're trying to exchange these, help each other find our errors so that we can use the information that we agree on, that we both find legitimate, in order to together find a conclusion. That's the only worthwhile way to discuss. I hate debates, and I hate anyone who says I love debating, or let's continue our debate. As soon as someone calls our conversation debate, I'm no longer interested, because a debate, which used to be called an eristic dialogue, is about winning. It's about I'm going to throw my information and my reasoning at you until you submit. And the brain is really good at coming up with justifications that it thinks sounds good. And they do sound good, and they are wrong. We don't need to encourage the brain into this combative thing. We need to work really hard to discourage it. Debating is our natural state. But what we want is discussion. Okay, so two people disagree about a thing. Okay, in my language, disagree is represented, I don't know, well, now we're already at 5 minutes, geez, 5, disagree. Disagree, so yeah, there's debate stuff before that. Now we're done with that. It's yod. Okay, it's this symbol. I don't remember what language it is, but it's just a Z, capital Z with a bar. Okay, so that's called yod, Y-O-D, and that means the thing that the point of contention. Okay, point of contention. So the yod is your point of contention. Yod, I just put the symbol, and your lira. This is the currency symbol for the Turkish lira. It's a T with 2 bars, slanted forward, up bars. That means agree. So your lira is something that you agree on. So we can call that a point of commonality. No, I don't like that, because I don't like acting like I have a truth and you have a truth. Oh, look, we had this truth in common. Oh, there we had 2 different truths. No, there is only one truth. But commonality, we're here together. We're both like, this is what's right. Okay, so let's also call it our point of départ, our departure point. So I think that this is what the idea I had last night, and this is all I have to bring to the table, by the way. So everything else we're going to be doing together. Is that, of course, a conversation will, for psychological reasons, and then also for reasonable reasons, we should start with the lira. We should establish a lira at the beginning of our exchange. And we cannot call it an argument, cannot call it a debate. It's unhealthy. Discussion, exchange, conversation. Okay. So, I should have at least come in with some semblance of a yod. What's funny is that a lot of times when we disagree, we don't even know what the yod is. We couldn't put it into words, because it doesn't exist in any sort of a clear way. And I don't mean that we can't clearly conceptualize it yet, but I mean it isn't a thing. The ideas that you have in your mind don't exist, sort of. You've got like a couple like words and senses of a couple like relationships. It's usually when you put it into words that it actually becomes an idea, and usually when I realize that it's bullshit. Well, hopefully. So, and to explain what I mean by this, sometimes we will have, let's say we'll disagree with someone. Our brain is saying, wrong, that person is wrong. We're not, maybe we're now, we're not able to articulate. Where the other person is winning, quote unquote, because we've entered into a debate because we're fools. And so they say something, and that shopes. And shopes means that sets off alarms in you. And so you of course, being arrogant, assume that these alarms are well calibrated and stuff. And so you think, okay, so there is a problem there. Those alarms slapped a couple very vague notions of things. Just whispers, scents, just the vapors of things. And so now you think you have like an idea. There's like maybe one word and like a couple prepositions or something, the sense of that. And thank you for bearing with me, because this probably isn't how you remember it. But I don't know how much attention you're paying when this happens. So anyway, and also, or how aware you could be of what happens. But then why am I so convinced that this is how it happens? It doesn't actually happen as... I'm not aware of it when it... Anyway, let's just continue. we're making a bunch of assumptions, right? Because that's how philosophy works. Okay, so just to give you an example, so you're there, you're in this disagreement, you think at this point that you've got a response. And like if the person would say, you got nothing, you'd say, no, I do. I'm just trying to figure out how to articulate it, right? Because you've got no words. You've got a couple words, but you don't have a sentence or anything resembling a sentence. Ultimately, you put it into words and you express it. Of course, you're going to cling to whatever just came out. Or you're going to want to. But then maybe the other person, who the person should be your partner, but is in this case your opponent, is going to say that makes no sense, and is going to show you, and you're going to be like, yeah, gosh, there's nothing setting off alarms in what he just said. I'm inclined to be, part of me is inclined to be convinced that what I just said was incorrect or unuseful. So then what do you do? Well, now you've got some cognitive dissonance. You thought that you had just verbally expressed your idea. And you have an idea that is correct. Because of course it is. So then how do we resolve this cognitive dissonance? That's not what I meant. Okay, so of course then we say that's not what I meant. And, maybe we try again. Usually humans stop at this point, but if we imagine that you try again, you just have to know that it's possible that there is no word form of your idea that is going to resonate with you the way that your idea did. And that's not because we don't have the words for it. Sometimes you don't know the words, or the language that you speak doesn't even have the words for it. But also, it's actually because all those bells that were ringing saying, like, hey, this is an idea, your experience of having an idea was actually false. It's also very, very possible, and it happens all the time, that you don't have it. Some alarms went off, a couple words popped in your head. You tried to string them together, didn't work. Maybe you tried again, didn't work. It's time to realize, okay, those thoughts might not be real thoughts, might not be sort of useful thoughts, just sort of things got triggered, and that's it, things got triggered. Okay, so you want to work together. Well, I need water. So I'm sorry that I don't think that this is a process that you're really meant to rush, and if you want to work so quickly, well, then you just do it and save the world. Actually, no, but bring me along with you, because I think I can help. Okay. We'll complement each other nicely. Okay, so now what do I do? So we need an example. It's so hard to talk about disagreements because no matter how we talk about it, it's never like it always actually is. We talk about thinking and like the idea of debate in ways that don't ever actually happen. I've never had a debate. I've had people that have called like a thing a debate because we were disagreeing with each other and kept interacting about that thing. But that's not even a debate. We think we have debates. I've never heard a debate. A debate is, let's take a statement, and I'm going to try to show you how you're wrong, and you're going to try to show me how you're right. I'm going to try to show you how I'm right, and you're going to try to show me how I'm wrong. And we're going to do that in like a systematic way. You said this, here are the problems in it. Then you respond to me about the problems that I've identified, whether or not they're actual problems. Actually, before you know it, get these two guys a couple beers, and it's a dialectic. It's a discussion. It's a conversation. You're working together. It's really the only difference between a debate and a discussion is what the goal is. Is the goal to agree and have found good truth? Or is the goal to be right and have transmitted your truth? That's it. Of course, we're not integrated systems, so it's not like we're operating according to one goal or the other. But it's just that we imitate a reasonable system. We imitate a system that would be in line with that what I said is the second goal of winning and transmitting your truth. That's how we're wired to do that. Okay, so we need to really try hard to but also we're not good at it, right? So I'm concerned that if I talk about a point of contention, everything you imagine or think that you're imagining about how that could play out as we try to imagine how it could play out better, all that's going to be wrong. I don't think you would ever believe the conversations that you have because it sounds so good when it's happening. You would have to watch a video, not know that it's you, and have someone tell you, look how stupid this person is. And then you'd be like, oh, wow, this is so dumb. This person isn't responding to the other person. They contradict themselves. None of what they say has anything to do with the other. Oh, half of it isn't even true. Well, much more than half. Okay, so I'm putting it off because these are important things to say, and I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so you don't debate. You certainly don't discuss. You don't debate. You talk about debating, and you think that you debate, and you think about your bullshit interactions as debates. Oh yeah, then I said this and gave him these reasons. You didn't. So let's take a point of contention. Let's do something. Let's not do something political or. So it might not even actually be practical to start with the point of contention because that's not how it happens. It would be a useful step when two people disagree for them to try to identify a point of contention. There may not even be a point of contention. It's just that their voices, just alarms are going off in both of them, even though there's actually no point of contention. Yes, by the way, that's why, people, yeah, that's, okay, so, yeah, a lot of your interactions, just like, you think you disagree, and if you had any wit about you, you would disagree, if you had any actual thoughts, but you don't. You've never actually thought about your idea enough, put it into writing enough to actually, for it to exist in any sort of meaningful way beyond just these vapors of nothingness. So maybe between two AIs, it would be cool to establish first the point of contention as the preface to the conversation. Then at the beginning of the conversation, once you've titled your conversation with this yod, the point of contention, and now you start with a lira. You start with something that you agree about, but it has to be something relevant to the point of contention. So we as humans couldn't title preface with the point of contention because we don't really know what it is, and there might not even be one, and it's just beyond our capacities. So it could be interesting to try to figure out the point of contention after first hearing some of the alarms. That's what we have to do. So two people disagree. We know that they're both choked by something the other person said, or by something. They are certainly attributing it to the ideas of the other person. They're saying, I am choked because of your ideas. I mean, your ideas are wrong. That's what they're saying. And what that means is your ideas, or maybe it's just a face that you made. Maybe it's just the language they use. Maybe it's just that you sound pretentious. And because of that, that's just shoping me. So people presume that they are being shoped by the ideas. We don't even know that. So we have to really announce some of these shopes. And announce it meaning to verbalize it, put it into words, and also let's introduce it to more of the other voices, because just because it's in there doesn't mean it's everywhere. What are you doing? So what's a practical way to start a fucking disagreement? How does it start? How do we know that the disagreement, although it might not be between ideas, the shopage exists? How do we know that? I don't know. When someone feels it, I don't know. What is the Neil, fuck, you're killing me here. What is going on? I'm sorry, is there a mouse? Can you explain? Why don't you just chill out? Come here. Chill out up there. Up there. I'm gonna go sit. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the dog. Okay. All right. So I mean, it has to be announced. I don't know how humans do it. At some point, they're just both shoped and they're throwing sacks of poop at each other, verbally. So all right. So we just have to make it. We can't come up with a system for a situation unless we know when the situation starts. So it needs to be immediately announced. I am shoped. Okay. So 22:15. First step. No, step 0. Announce shope. I am shoped. Okay. Person A says, I am shoped. Person B says, heard. No, not heard, because that already means something in my vocabulary. Says, okay. No, something to validate that. Well, they can, I guess they can just say what their own state is. Hopefully people can keep cool heads just for this part, even though they're both shoped. I am shoped, so I am also. Or, go on. There we go. Okay. So, in my language, the word for go is ho. Okay. And it's represented by this symbol. And it kind of reminds us of herd. So, B says ho. Okay? Oh, yeah. We can just say, okay, so the B has two choices. B can say yad. Which means and in my language. So I am also shoped. So there's shoped. There's also shoped, isn't there? Mo. Okay. All right, we're just going all the way with this. If you're serious about working together in this video, if you're watching this video, put a comment, ask for the language, or you can just, okay, so, ma shop. Ma yang shop. Ma yang shop. Ma yang shop. Ma yang mo. Ma yang mo. I am shoped. You know what? I don't think in my language there you'd need to use the to be verb. It's just gonna be like in Arabic. It's gonna be a nominal sentence. So, but there's gonna be some accent to indicate that. Anyway, so I shoped, then the person B can respond yad to say that they are also shoped, or ho. In the case that person B responded yad, person A can, no. Okay, no, regardless, person A, they, as humbly as possible, say whatever words come to mind when they think about their shopage. Okay, but do this humbly. Don't pretend like you actually know what's going on. Right? So don't give, oh, it's because of this, that, and the other. The number of times that someone has said to me, oh no, but it's not what you said, it's the way that you said it. And then I would literally have a recording of it. And Isabel, if you started watching my videos again, and remember those times, and because there was nothing in my words that was reasonably wrong, not even quotes, that was reasonably wrong. Something did show her though in my words. It was because I hadn't used, not like a please or thank you, maybe I hadn't said because, maybe I asked her for something and I hadn't said because I need it. So now her mind's going, something's wrong there. Now that I'm got all my voices engaged, I don't really see anything wrong with the words. Cognitive dissonance resolution, oh, it's the way that it was said. So you don't know what's going on. Or sometimes, yeah, the number of times people explain, oh no, but it's like, it's this thing that I don't like about whatever. And it isn't. It isn't. It isn't. My girlfriend knows hopefully exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so then rather than, don't even try to string together sentences now. If you want to try to string together sentences, do it for what the actual point of contention is, for this point of commonality. But now in this step 0, we need to just let out. Did we not come up with an example? Oh, we thought it would just come to us? Fuck! Okay. We're going to start without an example. Or maybe you have an example and you can be doing this with an example. And I'm going to try to speak generally. Okay. So, person A says, Mamu, I shoped, Mamu. And then B, let's say that B says Yadho. So Mayad ho. Okay. Mayad ho. So me and go. Okay. It doesn't need to be in the language, but symbols are sometimes useful in these things. Okay. And just like a one-word thing that we can associate with this can be useful. Then person A. Person A now is allowed to aj one sentence. So ajing is what the brain does at when challenged. So it's just whatever reasons, justifications, whatever you say when you're challenged about something, that's you ajing. Okay. Once you utter the sentence, oh no, we don't have a word for aj. You only have a word for maj. So we need a word for aj. Okay, but we can aj. So aj, then once that happens, person A immediately follows up with whether or not they validate the sentence that just came out of their mouth. So they can say, vale or vale, or no, or la in the language, or this symbol. Okay, let's assume that they vale what came out of their mouths for now. Okay, now quickly, B's just gonna say whether that sings or shopes. Sing or B shopes. Sorry, so if we want to use an Iodrado or Andrado, sing is ling, maybe? Oh, ling. So ling or mo. So then B can say ling or mo, because it would be good to know whether or not we already have a lira, a point of commonality, indicated by the Turkish lira money symbol. So he says ling or mo. Okay, but that's just something that would be noted. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now. We're assuming that if it shopes, that he's saying that it's a maj, and then that if it sings, he's saying it's an aj. Or we can continue. There's no such thing as a good aj. Okay, there's no baj. There's just a mauvais aj, a maj, which is a when you. Okay, right. So a maj is when you justify, but your justification is either sort of irrelevant, which we kind of call a misa, or it's because it's incorrect, which is a mala, a maladaptive voice, a mala. Okay. So then maybe it's not just noted. If B says that it shopes, then B ought to say, oh no, but this is all just step 0. Okay, we're gonna note this anyway, and then scratch it out and try to use it later. So if B says, okay, your aj there, you understand, we're on the same page, right? We know what's happening, right? Would it be useful to just quickly go through it again? I don't know. I don't want to waste your time. Okay, a yod represented by a capital Z with a line through it is a point of contention. A lira is a point of commonality represented by a T with 2 lines going up as they go forward. So in this step 0, we need to announce. Someone needs to announce. We are now going to engage. Well, we want to engage in a debate, but we're going to try our best once we get into it to make it a discussion. So someone announces, so person A announces, Mamo, I am shoped. My alarms are going off. Okay, cool. Person B responds, Mayad, me too, maybe. In any case, regardless of whether he or she is also, shoped, he's going to say, ho. Okay, so that, it means go, invites person A now to let out some of their potential bullshit, or maybe truth. So, or something that will inspire truth as the conversation progresses. Okay, so this is their aj. This is what they've been holding on to as they patiently went through this process of mamo, mayad, ho. Okay. Because you did this thing and that's bad or whatever. Okay. We keep it to 1 sentence though. Okay. And if there's a pause, don't throw in a conjunction and keep going. We keep it to 1 sentence. We write it down. Once it's written down, the person who said the sentence, who gave the aj, the first aj, says whether vale or no, actually, that's not what I meant. Okay. Then it's up to the other person to respond, basically the external version of valet, which is, I receive that well. That sings. That rings bells for me. That doesn't set off alarms. Or the person says, that sets off alarms. That shows mamo. So if person B is saying that the age is in fact a maj, then we have to figure out, is it a mala or a misa? Okay, now this is what we want to scratch out, because that's for the actual discussion. So in fact, we're even going to scratch out B says whether it sings or shows. In fact, A doesn't even need to say whether they valet or not, or la, their age. Actually, all that we need to do, actually, that's all that we need. That's all that we need. That's all that we need. We just need that age. We write it down. In that, we have pretty clear judgments and keywords, whatever. We've established the context of what will be a lovely discussion. So there you go. That's step 0. Okay, great. Step 1 now is the lira. Step 1's the lira. Only, how do you say need? It should be lassie. Only need a ash. There we go. Only need. That's the accent for only. That should not be. That doesn't need to be connected there. It's just a bridge below. And then that's need. Lassie. Okay, so. And then that's the possessive accent, the A. Anyway, so we only need this. And then step 0 is. I would just use the verb done. Step 0, done, past tense. Okay. Done is kapu. It's a diamond. Say that. And then put in the past. Like that. Okay, so step 0, done. Okay, that's awesome. So let's keep going. Oh, you know, it'd be so cool if people watch these videos and there are people that, I don't know, I mean, maybe this format as I'm doing it now doesn't work, but I could leave. No, they would just have to edit, and then they would take my video, and then they would respond in like a remix kind of thing, as though we're actually like working together. But of course, that's not. Well, they can just sort of be reacting to it. I think that's fine. Yeah, I guess it isn't possible, is it? Oh no, we're just working side by side. There you go. Oh, and then wouldn't that be fun? A video where, and then like you realize something, and like the video on the left of me, and I realize it like 30 minutes later, you're like, bro, I have the answer here. Look over here. That's fun. We have fun. All right, so this is a YTWT on. Oh, and this is called Dial. This is what I wanted to call this project a couple of years ago when I wanted to come up with when I thought, you know, one day I want to come up with a system for discussion, and it could even be an app. People could like follow the steps, type in their things. So we might as well just call it Dial from Dialectics. So this is the, oh, can we call it the Dialeris? Is that not perfect? Dialectics as opposed to Eris. Erisism or eristic something. That's exactly how I nudge that out of existence. This is the dialeristic. Oh shit. Because one's like a noun, one's dialectic. We are doing a dialectic. We are doing a Dialeris. We are doing a Dialeris. There you go. Boom. And I don't need to put my name on things. It's not even my name, by the way. It's more of a principle. I don't need to do that, but we do need to... We don't want there to be confusion between Eris and eristic thinking. So... Especially because there already is often that kind of confusion about me. Okay, so step one. Oh yeah, and feel free to mute if you're working in your remix. You can definitely play with the audio. So step one is the lira. Okay. So, just person A's age is enough for us to understand our context, and that's gonna start slapping some voices. Person A's age is gonna get person B's voices going. Person B going. Okay, so now we try to find something in here that we agree on. Just something related. And I think that we can probably trust the two people to come up with something related. I don't think it would be in anyone's interest to come up with something unrelated. Hey, well, we can agree that I'm right-handed. No. I mean, there's no way that... How could it be like where one person is gaining more from agreeing to this, or from how related it is? Like, a person will come up with something just related enough. I don't see how even our terrible minds, well, given our terrible minds, I don't see how that could slap any, how that could slap any alarms. Okay. So I think that people should be able to just come up with something they agree on. Okay, so B now proposes a lira. B proposes a lira. A accepts or refuses. And we keep this stuff noted. So this is going to be a day, yes, or la, no. This is going to be a day. Fuck. Oh yeah. She forgot which way it goes. Day or la. Okay? Day, la. Okay. So, okay. A, then, in the case of the la, proposes T prime, or we'll say T prime, T double prime. Okay. And then this just keeps going. Bop, 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 bop. Keeps going until T established. Oh, not T, lira. Okay. Okay. Step 1B. Definition of terms. Let's be very, very clear on what our lira is here. This lira that sings for both of us. This lira that ling-lings hard. We want to be very, very clear about it. So first of all, so there may be in that process, So you're going to have a lot of false lyras. You're going to think, oh yeah, that, well, kind of, wait, what do you mean by that? Or oh, there's something about there that we can agree on, blah, blah. And then even when you think that you have it, maybe you write it down in a sentence and someone's choked. And, you know, and be honest, you know, if there's still something off, you got to be honest. And it might take a while then to have, because, yeah, so then you have to, okay, so step 1B, so when the lyra is established, it was just verbally a lyra was offered. Maybe this is just audio recorded, so we don't have to note everything. There are certain things that we need to write, that we need to, I think you have to say paper. Nah. Oh, text. Oh, nash. Okay. So there are some things we need to nash or nash. We need to say text. We need to write. We need to nash. And so we are going to put the symbol. So nash is fine. So that's this. Okay. Okay, so there we go. So that's the symbol. Oh, sorry. Shit, I shouldn't have. Oh no, I didn't underline it. That's from the T. Okay, so just like a kind of like a P. Okay, so that means that it's something that we need to write down. So we'll remember to keep that symbol in mind. So, but we don't need to nash any of the proposals of the lyras. Once we have something that we think that we agree on, we write it down. Okay, so we're gonna nash this lyra now. Okay, so we're nashing the lyra. Okay. And then of course we might find, all right. So once it's nashed, then we need to define terms. Just so you know what I'm looking at. So I grade this one out. I thought maybe I don't need it. Something means something indie. Do I not have anything else for define? We have categorize, no. Detail, xi, no, xi. All right, let's just do, yeah, so we'll do the noun form of indie. So the noun form, go to the accents, indipata. Okay, so indipata, it's a little underscore. So it goes that way. Okay, so underscore, oh, and then we'll make it plural, put 2 dots above it. No, that's for an open-ended question. 2 dots below. Okay, okay, there we go, meanings. Okay, and then of course, at this point, maybe once those meanings are cleared up, gosh, this can be exhausting. How are humans gonna be able to do this? We're on step 1B right now. I'm tired. Of course, we're trying to invent it, so it is going to be more tiring. But also, humans are really bad at disagreeing. Humans are really, really bad at trying to, yeah. So, how long is that going to take to find your lyra? Because then the definitions, that's going to be our process. The brain isn't really made for that. We do need an example. Whatever. So we have, so let's just assume that somehow these two people who are choked were able to have a productive dialogue and definitions of terms. And because they're not debating, so they're not like, oh, I'm right about this definition. None of that. You couldn't have made it this far, even to step 1B if you're debating, if you're arguing. So you do your definitions. and then you can valet your lira. Both of you can say whether the lira sings and whether you valet it. So valet is wow. So lira yang wow. Lira is valid. How do you do where? Oh, it's like a T. All right. So oh, that's a question. Question. You have to put a dot under it to say it's a question object. So lira is valet. Or we should put that in the past tense to make it valet. Okay, so valid. So then both parties can now wow the valet the lira. Maybe this is gonna be more in a museum than anyone's living room TV. Hope I didn't do anything horrible. Gosh, that got really, really dark, because especially just like this is really awkward. I don't know how to get out of this. I mean, no, like nothing's gonna happen. I'm not doing it. I'm trying to save the world. So. And I don't get that mad at people. Okay, that was awkward. I'm trying to, I don't want to edit this. Do I have to edit that out? Maybe I'm making too big of a deal out of it. I just feel like just like imagining like people, nothing, everybody chill out. Alright, so, where were we? I just, I added that because it was too arrogant to say the museum thing. So then I thought, oh, maybe as a display of insanity. And so then, so that's all. Alright, so we're gnashing hard this lira. And then hopefully both parties are gonna wow it. And what's how stupid of me. But I couldn't, I'm not gonna explain how the language works, but or how I yeah, sorry, I'm sorry this isn't subtitled in English. There's going to be a little Andrato, there's going to be a little voice theory vocabulary, and there's going to be the Andrato for the voice theory vocabulary. So, if we wow the lira, if we both valet this point, if we both accept, if we both say that the point of commonality sings, if we both agree with the point of commonality as it's written with the terms defined, then great, we finished step one. I don't like saying agree because there's not even a reasonable system there to agree. There's no evaluation done. Its ideas aren't clear enough to compare it, even to do an evaluation to the other idea, to have any notion of whether it's agree. That's why it is important. That's why I do have this vocabulary, not the language vocabulary. It is important to say that sings. It's not I agree. It's not I think that's correct. It's not you're right. None of that. It's just, hey, my brain's going. I vow that. That sings in here. Okay? We might both be idiots. And these bells are ringing in both our heads. Should have said, but these bells are ringing in both our heads, buddy. Got that in common. So anyway. So the lira sings for both. Even with the indipatas, the definitions. Okay. So now we get to the part that we've been waiting for, the juicy part. Hopefully and this is really this is not only a psychological step, but also a reasonable step. This is what I was saying earlier. But yeah, this is let's make sure we remember we're on the same team here. Let's make sure we remember it's not I understand things and the other is an idiot. So we agree on this. We're able to interact. Look at this exchange. This is great. So let's slap these Dialeris voices and not the, doesn't matter what they're called, voices. These are really good. So I haven't eaten today. I made some couscous, but I haven't eaten it. I had an apple and a banana. And 2 cups of coffee and 2 joints. Alright. So you go ahead. In case you fast forwarded, we're still looking at step 2. Well, we're not actually. We haven't started. What is step 2? Okay, step 2. Step 2 is, this isn't practical, I'm not left-handed. What's step 2? Let's just think. No pressure, we don't need to gnash anything right now. Just thinking. Actually what we're doing now. This is called thraining. We're not threshing, we're thraining. Thraining means, because you don't think, I don't believe you think. But I believe you thrain, which is, you got this voice happens, which slaps this voice, which slaps this voice, and it's just like a train, just going. But we don't have to, it's not linear, maybe. It goes over here, it goes over there. It's really not a train. And maybe it's bad to say thraining. Threading, you can think of it as threading. No, but it's actually just like convergence of things. It's not one thing moving. We're just going to keep it at thraining. So, threshing is when you have to make a decision. And then you just let the 2 options just kind of, until a threshold of confidence is reached, and you think you did some thinking. Okay, so right now we just need to thrain. It's like a brainstorm. We're gonna thrainstorm here. Thunder, rain, thrain. Forget the train. Forget train. Because I was thinking train of thought. No, forget the train. We're done with train. That no longer has any association. You can put it in the original etymology. You can mention train. But in the definition, no. It's thunder and rain. It's brainstorming. It's thraining. Okay, great. So it's thraining ideas here. It's not. Let's thrain. Take the pressure off. Anybody who's still watching this knows it's a work together video. And this could be a lecture hall full of students. Give them time to catch up. Let them talk, especially if it's French students. They're probably whispering amongst themselves. They're not listening anyway. So, no, and the teacher can edit this part out. So you gnashed the lira. All right, let's just start over. Let's go back to the beginning. So step 0, we announced the shope. Okay, Mamo, I'm shoped. Okay. The person who is shoped, ages, gives a sentence about their shopage. And then we're not going to take that very seriously, but it establishes for us the context. And this is just to avoid if we think we're mad about different things or whatever. Okay. All right, so there should be, B can also, once the aj is stated, B, of course, can, at this point, say, wait a minute. Oh, no. You don't need to be choked. I'm 100% sorry for that. I didn't realize that you, or if it's a disagreement, oh, no, you don't need to be choked. I think you misunderstood what I said. So we need the aj, yad, and B's valet, which is wow, which is that T with the circle symbol. Okay, so we've revised step 0 to need only A's aj and B's wow. B's it's not really a valet. No, sorry, it's not a wow. It's not a valet. It's not that he's saying, not only does that, a valet is when I accept that in that form. Not only does that sing, but, you know, because sometimes something can sing a little bit and show, something can sing, but you know that you have not a clear idea about why that sings. But if you're ready to stand by something, which you're obviously all ready, all of you, Freddie. But in people who are engaging in this exercise, they have a culture, they have a mindset, they have values where they are not so quick to commit to things. Oh no, but why invent something for them? I have to invent something for you. Okay, I think everything's okay so far. I know you think that you can handle this. I also think that you can. Okay, so. And I don't even know whether I could do this, actually. Alright, so indipata. No, not indipata. Indi only. It's that bridge below. Indi-ib. Why was pata was something else. Indi-ib. Okay, Indi-ib, because you have to gesture where the accent is. So, Indi-ib. Brev. Aj. Yad. A. Brev. Aj. Yad. B. Brev. Ho. Okay, ho-or-la. So B now gives a ho-or-la. Okay, so this is a ho-pela situation. Ho-pela. Go or no. Great. So this is, alright, so this is just an opportunity for B to say, oh wait, we don't need to disagree anything about that. If they don't say anything, no, they should say ho-or-la. I promise it isn't intentional that B keeps calling A a ho. It's not. It's just, I mean, that's been the symbol for go for years. Alright, so, because it looks like go, right? And it's in some language, that's how it's. Yeah, in some language, Georgian, I don't know, some language, that symbol exists in some language, and it is called ho. Okay. It also is good for go because home was the command symbol, which is like, you know, go 2 times. It's the command symbol on a Mac, right? Okay. All right. We have the context of the disagreement. Now it is step 1. We do a lira. So B proposes, then A accepts or refuses. and then proposes. B accepts or refuses, and then proposes if it's a refusal. Until someone accepts. Then we need to nash that lira, write it down, and talk about the indi patas. Oh, not indi, lassie. Lassie ib a brev aj pe b brev ho pe la. Now we're on the indi, the definitions. So the indi pata, the definitions, we've got that. We may have to go back to step 1a if through these definitions we find a problem. Otherwise, so maybe return step 1. Okay, so then what is the step 2 then? The step 2 is we can revisit the aj now. Okay. So now, but what's the goal right now in this step? Definitely we want to go back to what A's aj was, especially because B's been biting his tongue. So we need to represent A's aj, but not just so they can fight. Oh yeah. Oh no, everything we had written earlier. Okay, great. So the stuff that we had on the previous page. So this aj actually does need a name, doesn't it? So Maj is Tam. Oh, that's a tough symbol. I don't have justify, I just have Maj. I have Okay, so then maybe instead of saying aj, what we ought to do, but where's like a justify? No, we don't have justify. But do we not have explain either? Okay, socials. Agree, disagree. Okay. Logic rules allow and or accept, include, if, then, parsup, possible, true, false, context. Maj, ear, misa, sid, mala. Okay, the mind, brain, voice, intelligence, confidence, emotion, know, ponder, idea, remember, learn, understand, problem, experiment, support, information, vow, sing, show, slap, deliver, vat. Okay, let's just call it an utterance. A na. No. We need to be able to say when things are not or when they're not. I don't want to call it support because that's how we might see it, but it's not actually. It's an aj. So I just need a symbol for aj, and then once I have that, then great. So for now, it'll just be the aj. Okay, so this is aj 1. This is aj 1. Oh, this is aj 1. Aj 1. Okay. So this is aj 1. So A reads aloud aj 1. So this is our aj 1. Okay. So then person B now. Oh, now person A. So A is now going to wow. Or not. So they're going to valet that thing that we had come up with earlier or not. In the case that they valet it, that they wow it, B is going to say whether that sings or... No! I put the symbol for say, not sing. Sing. Oh. Oh, that's... Oh, they're kind of the same. But they're different Unicodes. Huh. Okay. So then B... Oh, and also I actually need to put say anyway. So then, we should be using this symbol say. So B says... sing or which is ling, or shopes, which is mo. Okay. So and then A says no, whatever. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. Okay. Okay. How committed am I to this language where I'm not actually writing anything in English now? Yeah, let's put in some translations. So B says sing or shope. And they say valet or not. Okay. So we're continuing. Okay, so we're still on step 2, eh? Still on step 2, okay? So if is bet, the Hebrew symbol, I think. Yeah. So if B shoped, then gamma, no, it's quality, tav, then B says maj or misa. So it's going to be a tam. A pe or a misa. Okay. Okay, so just to keep ourselves grounded. So if B is like, yo, I don't like your sentence there, then B has to say whether they think that the sentence is a bad voice or okay. It can be a mala, a misa, or just irrelevant. Wait, how can it be irrelevant? I don't know what that means. How can it be irrelevant? I lost that voice. All right, so So it can be a tam or a neo. Okay. So a tam, a mala, a maladaptive voice is basically just a cognitive error. It is a voice that is incorrect. So it can just be an error in the sentence. If this sentence is valid, if it's been validated, then it's supposed to represent whatever A wants to communicate. So, if there is a cognitive error, B can say it's a mala. How can it be a misa? A misa is when you misattribute. Misa. So when you misattribute a delivery, something you said or did, to a voice to which you cannot attribute it. To which that is not the voice that actually delivered that behavior. So if you help someone and you say, oh yeah, I helped them because you know, it's good to help people or something. I don't know, that's really bullshit. But that is probably not what you did. It's probably they had a good smile, or that day you were in a good mood, whatever. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean just help someone pick up something, but, you know, give money to. That's what I meant. Sorry, that wasn't clear. So, so that would be a misa. You're misattributing the delivery, and the vat is that the voice that actually delivered that behavior was, you know, something else. But how can you misa when in that aj? Because I always say that you can maj or misa. No, I don't. I used to say there's malaj and mizaj. Right. So you have ajing. Okay? You can aj. Justify. Usually a bit desperately. A maj, bad justify. Now, you could have badly justified with a malaj, a justification that where you utter a bad voice, so a cognitive error, and you say it like it's true, and then the person has to go, hey, that's a mala, you're malajing. Your majing is malajing, and the mala is this bias or this incorrect fact, maybe an incorrect yid, not necessarily an action of the bid. That you don't need to understand yet. Or maybe, oh yeah, I forget, people are watching this in the future. Okay, so great. Or you can mizaj, which is where you justify. Yes. But how do I do this without giving the only example I've had in my mind the last hour? No, I'm joking, sir. I haven't, you know, but yeah. Okay. Simply put, let's say you object to something. To justify your objection, you can either say something false, or you can sort of move away. You can say something that is not actually your objection. What am I saying? Fuck, I think I have to just, because I keep thinking, I don't have any ideas in my mind. The only ideas I have are the words that come out. In reality. So I have to say this thing out loud to see whether there's anything to it. So imagine someone is uncomfortable being in in your music video. Someone, no. So you have a friend who is always in your music videos. And then you want to do a track that starts with a voicemail from your friend. And your friend is like, I don't know whether I want you to use that voicemail. I don't think I do. Okay. So the friend is now shoped, and the friend expresses that I am shoped by the possibility that you might use that voicemail. Okay. The first age, so age 1, abrevage 1, is now going, we might say, for instance, and this is something, anyway, your friend might say to you, well, you know, it's weird to, okay, but the thing is, it wasn't actually a voicemail. Voicemail can be quite intimate. Whatever. Okay, so the first age could be something like, I don't like the idea of you sharing all of our interactions with everybody. There you go. There you go. Okay. And B says, whoa. B says, I think that's a mosh. It's a misage because that you can't be worried about that because that's never been a possibility, that all of our interactions would be shared with everybody. So that that's not even a reality. Huh. I don't know whether I'm changing what mise means or discovering what it means. So what you just said isn't even a reality. So whatever you're upset about, it is not me sharing all of our interactions with everybody. That is not what you are upset about. For instance, imagine in this case that your friend is actually upset because you hadn't called them back. You didn't respond to the voicemail. And then months later, you want to use it for a track. So the friend might say, and maj, well, I don't like the idea of this, of everything being shared with everyone. Okay. An example of a melage would be, you are using our relationship to make money. That would be a melage. I believe that could be your VAT. That is what is slapping that reaction, that interpretation. But I'm a big rapper. Oh wait, who? Oh, I'm not even in the situation. It's you and your friend. You're a big rapper, and your friend's like, yo, you're blah blah. No. Since you're a big rapper, your music has to come from somewhere. You can't just. It can't all be bullshit. Sometimes it has to come from the heart. Sometimes it's gonna come from your relationships. So that would be a maladaptive voice. That voice is not adapted to the situation. That's a misinterpretation. Wrong. Okay. So there we go. So we've got an example of a misage and a melage. So let's say 1 hour 23:55. Okay. So then, of course, in this step 2 still, and then once it's identified, whether it's a misage or a melage, whether it's assuming, whether we don't even believe that is what is causing the chopage, or whether we think that shouldn't cause chopage. So we say whether it's a misage or a melage. And then we have to explain, which apparently I don't even have that. Well, oh, that's right, because you can just use information, make it a verb. And we can use detail, right? So then form detail. There you go. So this is how you write explain. The verb for inform, and then the noun of detail. Okay, so then you, and the parentheses are to say that it's one word. So then you, or one concept, I guess this should be. So then you explain, explain why. So you used to have a really good symbol for why, but then I broke it up in a cause and, okay, just explain problem. So pi. So explain problem. Okay. Oh, so B. B explains problem. Oh, you know what? We should have just used detail. Details. Okay, details problem. That's why I don't have explain. Okay. Then A. Gosh, how do you do this? Of course, this will be endless. You will never get, every one of these steps can be endless, especially, actually mostly, if you're in debate mode. But if you're working together, so B says, all right, so here's what I think the problem is. If B explains that clearly, all right, we're just doing the general thing here. So B explains the problem, and then A bloody responds. I don't know. I don't know what to. How do you respond back? So A says back. So that's to say that it's re, and then say. So A re, but not re again. That would be 2 lines. Re again. So this is re back. So you're returning an action. So A says, A says back, A responds. But then I guess so what have we contributed here? And then people just argue. Okay, so obviously we can't stop there. But we also can't. But there's arguments within arguments. Oh yeah. You can't put respond in. We need to, okay. So B says the problem. Whether it's melage or misage, he said that it's a maj. Or maybe he didn't, of course. He may also have not said that it's a, so this is if B is choked, remember. All this is on this page is if B is choked. Okay? Then what? So B kasi ha pi. So B detail verb problem. A say back. No, just scratch that. But we also, right, so we also have to assume that, because even if, there can still be a lot of back and forth, even if you're not in debate mode. You can't just be like, okay, now you've made progress. Maybe it can? We do have to make some progress. Right? So that's what we're missing. A technique to make progress. earlier with the proposals. That was cool. But then, like, you're biting, you're like, oh, is that something you really believe? That's what you want me to... Nope. That... It's going to be difficult for a human to go back and forth and just keep their tongue bit. Because if B says what the problem is, A could... All right, let's just try something. If once B says what the problem is, gnash it. That should definitely be gnashed. Okay, so B needs to gnash pi. It needs to gnash the problem. It needs to write it down in... There's got to be some number that's good for the brain. We don't use however many words an idea takes. I use 1,000 more than they might take. And other people use, 1% of the words needed. So what would be like a good number? Off the top of our head, a sentence, good sentence, like a good, just like sentence that we can keep all in our mind at once and really understand. Let's say like 7 words. Let's say like maximum 2 nouns, couple adjectives, 1 verb maybe. No, there needs to be a limit. Okay, so rules for the Nash. Every sentence, I don't have a word for sentence. Every sentence, but I have a symbol for all. Okay, so sentence ba, bridge above. Yeah. So sentence ba has row only 1 noun, verb, maybe we can be lenient at the adjectives and all the other stuff. Okay, so it only has 1 noun and 1 verb. Okay, all sentences have 1 noun, 1 verb. That's the first rule. The second rule is... What's a good number of sentences? 5. Let's use 7. All sen have maximum have less, oh no, that's not less, that's more, less than 7 hays. Okay, all sentences have less than 7 hays, 7 words. And finally, less than 7, okay, less than, oh no, not less than, less than 8. Oh, so let's make that less than 8, because I don't have less than or equal to. Okay, less than 8. Okay. Okay, so he gnashes the problem. Then A is going to gnash that response. Go on, respond. But hopefully we're in a good mindset where then, after A has responded, has na vela. Alright, so A responds, nash it. Same rules. E. I think that's how you pronounce that. E. No, tsan. Oh, okay. Tsan. Okay. Similarity. Tsan. Okay. So A's gonna navela, gonna nash that navela, pata, and then that's gonna be a tasan sadi. It's an adjective. Okay, and then okay. So it's not going to be able to be like, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll discover why, but right now it doesn't seem like it's going to be able to be like, I shouldn't even say that. I've just got an idea for how to do it in a way that is different from what I had always imagined, which is really digging in to an idea and sort of, you know, like a system for how to, the defining terms. Oh, the indipata. Every time something is nashed, there needs to be the indipata, the meaning, or the indipata, indipatadia. Okay, so of course we need the indipatadia. Okay, so every nash needs meanings as well. And then so my idea is that we don't go on forever. The process maybe, but there's a set number of steps and there's a set number of times you try each thing, basically. So after A responds to the problem that B said, B can either then Charles asks, A as 2, or he valets, bro. He wows. Okay, so I have to think about that. I've never thought about it that way. So here's where we're at. So I've never thought about it that way, where we don't keep going. And I don't know how a system can be made where it allows for the potential, because the whole idea of the system is to help us from going down these disagreement rabbit holes, these unproductive disagreement rabbit holes. But I'm not saying like agree to disagree. I'm very, very much against agreeing to disagree. I am very, very much for disagreeing to agree. Okay? That's what this Dialeris method, that's what a Dialeris is. It's disagreeing to agree. Okay? Start with your lira, right? Something that you start with your a sense of what the yod is, the disagreement. You establish a lira to remind yourself that the ultimate goal is to reach a final lira on this yod. And then you go through some difficult yoding. There's going to be some stuff that sings, some stuff that shopes, some stuff that lings, some stuff that mows. But the idea is to get to a lira. So I'm very for disagreeing to agree. It's not about like, oh, okay, so we can't agree on that, so we move on. No, that would drive me crazy. I wouldn't be able to do that. I would want to push further into this. But how can you have a system? A regulation for how to push farther into it. There has to... No, there doesn't have to be. It's just I don't have any other voices right now. It just seems like... It doesn't even seem like I have no voices giving me an idea for how there can be a procedure in which humans go back and forth unlimited number of times until, right, because it would have to be until a criteria is met. Clearly, one criteria would be a lira, right? Both of them wow. Both of them val the, whatever the statement is, the aj is. It's no longer, it's not, whatever the aj is, aj 2, aj 3, aj 4, it's not considered a maj. It is valid, it is validated, it is approved of by both parties. And then, so that would be one criteria, but, so the thought is that rather than trying to fulfill that criteria, that we sort of trick the mind by bouncing around a bit, and we have these brief exchanges where we go back and forth on a point a set number of times. It's like 2 times. We go back and forth like maybe once or twice. And then we move on. And I think it's almost to, maybe it could be, to sort of shake completely loose the whole debate debacle. And to make us, I don't know, oh man, we got to move on now because we couldn't resolve that. Oh, we really want to resolve things. Let's slap those voices of resolution. Let's resolve to resolve. We are resolute about our resolutions. About finding resolutions. We are resolute about solving... Okay. Anyway, so okay. So that's step 2. That's step 2. A consideration of aj 1. Then step 3. So step 3. So if bet. All right, whatever. I can't think of it right now. Tav, and it is like, I mean, if. All right. So, got our if and tav set up. Okay, our bet and tav. So if A has A has 2, then A says that. Okay, says this object. Well, I'm not going to explain. Anyway, but you heard me say it. So. And then I'll probably need to look at this video to know what I wrote anyway. If A does not have a Aj2, then B says B Aj1. Now this isn't, I guess, you might be like, oh, hey, is this an Aj? Because what is he justifying? He didn't. No, he showed as well. He showed as well. It's just an Aj of the Shopich. It's not even an Aj of a particular Aj. Because then you're going to have the Ajes of the Ajes, right? And the Majes of the Majes. You're going to give a bad justification for something. And then you're going to justify that with something not good either. But then you just move on. All right, so if A has an Aj2, they give it. And if A doesn't have an Aj2, then B gives an Aj1. For the Aj2, so for the Aj2, so A says, oops, A Aj2, and then B just de or la, yes or no. That's it. We're not even gonna get into the details. And then if he says la, then B Aj1. B says Aj1. And then if he says yes to Aj2, then that's great. Then you move to you're gonna fucking Nash this lira, bro. You just found another lira. That's great. And then otherwise B, and then hey, you're going back and forth anyway, but at least now it's a little bit more systematic, and it's being written, it's being nashed, it's being written down. So yeah, maybe none of these are going to resolve in any liras. And you're just going to keep going, keep saying bullshit. So basically what's going to happen is for B brev Aj1, he's going to, B Aj1, is going to hit that same process as, before. So this is the, so then this, oh no, so it's just step 2, yeah. So then when B has 1, then you just hit step 2, bro. Hit step 2, switching roles. There you go. That's it. 3 steps. And then you can just cycle through the roles. There you go. At some point, hopefully, because you guys are really trying to be team players, hopefully at some point, an Aj that's identified by one party as a Maj is going to be accepted by the speaker as a Maj. And then you'll have a lira, because then, you know, I mean, you can, from any, you know, yod, once you resolve a yod, you have a lira, right? So if we agree that, oh yeah, this thing that I said was wrong, great. We've got something we agree on. That's a lira. Let's note it. And then, but then what do you do if you have a lira? Oh, so then after you nash that lira, we got to keep the positive vibes. So we're going to nash that lira, and we're going to, there should be maybe some kind of physical contact. Physical contact. Pleasant, nice physical contact. And then you still go to step 2, switch and rolls. So either step 3 finishes with a lira, or it doesn't. And you move on to something else. And then that's going to be slapping the right voices. Very proud of this. I think that we've done a wonderful job. I think that, I think the idea that anybody was watching this makes me happy. Makes me feel less delusional because you were 100% there during the filming. So let me know. Let me smash that like button. Let me know in the comments below if you want to do another work together. And then we'll have. Oh, but we have to do a live, right? I gotta do a live stream, stuff like that. Get on Twitch, do some. The thing is, who am I gonna work with? Look, never mind Andrado. I can write in English. But there's still voice theory, which has its own vocabulary, which does need its own vocabulary, because the way that you talk about the mind and everything related to the mind is wrong. All the vocabulary is wrong. The words that we have mean things that either don't happen or it happens in like a certain way, but certainly not in part of the way that's included in the word. So we do need new words to talk about mental activity now that we're realizing, oh, we're not like souls? Oh, so what does it mean to agree? What does it mean to have an opinion? What does it mean to think? All these things. So we can redefine the words, but better yet, we'll leave those words to them. We've got our own words. So we need those. People can learn those. People learn those. And then honestly, I mean, I'm learning these symbols. All right, I'm so great. So I will see you in the live stream. Let me know if you're. Oh, maybe put a comment. Hey, who like this if you're here from the 2025 live stream. Didn't even know there was this original video on YouTube where he talks to himself. All right, good work. So. Wow. But I honestly think that we've responded to what our question was. We wanted a discussion system. And we've got one. We've got a way to, a system is is an organization. It is procedures. It's other words like that. And those words are also slapped when I look at this. I see organization. I see a procedure. I don't know how many loose ends we left untied, but if there isn't like any major loose ends untied, we've done some amazing work here. And this is work that I want to do for years. I could not have done it without you. I've never just sat down and thought about it. I can't do it by myself. I don't care what I think. But maybe you care what I think. And so, and that's not actually what's happening. That's in me. So that's not, I don't think that's what's happening in my mind. I think it's because it's just, it feels like there's no, I write this and then what? But now there's a result. My ADHD brain needs to know what the result is. And the result is thousands and thousands of likes, millions of subscribers, tons of sponsorship offers that I struggle to refuse. Wait, I'm not going to refuse sponsorship offers. You know, I've always had one voice thinking that I was going to refuse them, and one voice looking forward to different travel things. Oh, wow, I never noticed that conflict, because I do not like the idea of doing ads, and I don't like the idea of tailoring my content to anybody or anything. Except, no, not even the millions of people are here because they like this. Okay, we've had a nice time. I'm gonna do my own personal therapy now, and actually I'm gonna smoke a drink. Okay, right. Just some last thoughts. In the 7 word things, So you can have prepositional sentences. You can have unlimited prepositional sentences. Prepositional sentences are not real sentences. They are just a preposition and then period. So if you want to say this is true, because this is true, you put because period. You put this is true, period. Because period. This is true, period. And then in the future we'll look at what that would actually mean, what those 7 sentences of 7 words each involve, not including the prepositional sentences, of course. And how, so we need a system for how to properly evaluate that, because A needs to know how to properly receive and evaluate B brev's Maj explanation. Okay. So there's more work to do, obviously, but I think that this could be a really cool start, couldn't it? Yes. Hang on. We didn't, I mean, by no means have in any way have we finished, but there's something that I think I won't be able to go to sleep without, which is step 4. But how do you get to step 4? Because we have both things going back to step 2. Switch roles. Step 2. If this is second step to step 4. There you go. Okay, so then step 4 is, what is the yod? So we're going to Nash that yod. And we're just going to go a proposal Dialysis system. So A says yod prime. B says de pe la. B says yod double prime, etc. until yod, and then you Nash it. Okay. Now we've actually got the yod. Okay. So there might actually, I actually thought we were done, but we might need to turn the light back on. Okay, you knew that we weren't done because you can see how long the video is, but I see I don't have that. I don't have that yid, that information. Right. So, all right, but let's try to keep it. Ooh, if it's a 7-step process, that would be good. Where's the water? God damn it. Ah. Sorry, buddy. Thanks. Okay. So step 4 is, now we actually have the point of contention, and those 3 steps got us there, obviously. Those 3 to 5 steps. Well, 5 steps, but they're written as 3. Okay, great. So then, but then maybe we can call this a step 7 then. All right, so we'll make the number 7 work regardless. Step 5, 2023, Delber 13, Deldy, YTWT. I think I'm gonna call it a warthog. Work together, warthog. Dialeris. Oh gosh, Okay, crossed out. Okay, so now that we have the yod. Okay, right. So now it gets interesting. Okay, so A says because that was just dumb aging before. Now we try to get serious. Now that we actually know what the yod is, now we gotta try to get serious. And we've already passed the test. We found some nice liras. We've made some nice physical contact. Hopefully we found some liras. If we haven't, whatever. We can stick to it. Now we know what the yod is. Now we know what the point of contention is. Okay, so then A says, A brev. Now we have to have an actual premise. We're done aging now. Now we have to find an actual premise. We can still say, it's still kind of, it can still be a mala or a misa, but it won't be malaging or misaging. Because now we've calmed down. We've been working. Okay, so I see. Great. I hope you see. So A says, now this is A's first proper premise. Why are we doing premises? This shouldn't be an argument. Premises are used in a logical argument, but this should not be a other definition of argument. That shoped because it's the same word, but maybe we're okay. See, A isn't presenting an argument. A is going to present a thing that it vows. Just a thing that sings, a thing that it thinks is true. It's not without the desperation of the aging. Okay? So it's a voice. An age is also a voice, but it's that desperate voice. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not a maj, but now A is going to clearly state a voice, which in that symbol I really should know. Should be under mind. Oh, it's at the top. Oh, I do know that, yeah. So that's a psi. Okay, so A says a psi 1. B says, okay, B says, should A give reasons at this point? Should A age at this point? Should A give, or maybe A could give, all right. First of all, let's find out what B thinks. So B says sing or shope. Sing or shope is like that. Yes. Okay. In the case that he says sing, that's cool. Then, sorry, what are we trying to do in step 5? Step 5 can have loops. What are we trying to accomplish? Step 4, we did the yod. In step 3, this gibberish I've written. There's no title. How am I supposed to understand what any of this is? If A has A's possession aj 2. Oh, A's aj 2. Oh, if he has it, then he says it. Okay. So he says his aj 2. B says day or la. If it's day, then great, we've got a lira. If it's la, then so be it. B moves on to aj 1. And we go back to step 2. So it was all about it was this play, this ajing period. Get it out of our systems, as if that's possible. And then in step 1 we had an initial lira. Okay, so lira, aj, yod, and now the discussion of the yod. Okay, so I don't want to use the word premise because we're not that smart. So we're just going to say a voice, however it comes out. It needs to be nashed, obviously. Well, I should have thought. I didn't even think it. So we're going to nash that first voice, that first psi. And then, of course, anytime something's nashed, or the origin, whoever said it, needs to valet or not. So needs to wow that or not. Wow or not. Okay. And then, of course, if they wow it, if they val it, if they say, yep, that's what I mean, then B says sing or shope. Okay. And then if it sings, then it looks like we've just got ourselves another lyre, which we're gonna nash the hell out of. So we're gonna write that down real hard. Little reminders in case some of the vocabulary isn't sticking. In case some of the it's not even the voice vocabulary, it's my stupid language. Okay. So if it sings, we're gonna nash that lyra, and we're gonna do some physical contact. I think I have a word for sex, and we're just gonna say like less than sex. Drug, alcohol, fun, money. Okay. Well, in the full document we had a word for sex. Okay. So we're just gonna put fun, which is the shekel, the Israeli currency. Okay. And then after the fun, I don't know yet. If it shopes, if it shopes, as it probably will, then B require. Should be logic, right? Oh, allow. It's like the opposite. It allows that. No, it doesn't allow it. It requires it. But no, the capital of allow would be guarantee. Oh, depend. I have depend, don't I? What am I looking for right now? How to say... Oh, you have to. Well, I have need. Right. What about depend? Okay, whatever. So, yeah, need is... Yeah, need. Okay. Okay. Right. Why would we have require when we have need? Okay, so B needs, say, B needs to say now, you should say exactly what the fucking problem is. Now, of course, B might be shaped, but not know where that alarm's coming from, what that alarm is. Right. So B does not need to say what the problem is. Should we allow B to aj at this point, get some stuff out? Okay. B needs to nash what the problem is. And that can take a little bit of time. And that's where we've got our 7x7. That nash is going to be a 7x7 nash. Okay. To which A is going to respond with a 7x7. And then B do we do more discussion? So we've got this 7 word sentence text, not including prepositional sentences or phrases or whatever. They respond. But how are we remembering that we're working together? We need to find some liras. Okay. So at this point, in this 7x7, A needs to include co. Yeah, it's half of have. Include 3 liras. Doesn't have to be even half. But 3 liras, let's keep us on track. We're working together here. Let's get 3 liras. You can include in your 7x7 3 liras. Let's try a 7x7 from B. And it needs to include. We should put an accent on that so we know it's a verb. Include 3 liras. 3 things that they agree on. 3 recognitions of based on what has been said. Okay. I think that's possible. Still got 4 sentences to tell them how wrong they are. Okay. Now I think is when it gets really, really serious. So here's what we're going to do. So that's just voice 1 of A. Yeah, but what about all these other voices that compose the 7x7s? No, this isn't right. You can't just try to limit yourself to one voice and then... The human brain just doesn't work like that. You wouldn't be able to then do a 7x7 just for that voice, I don't think. At this point, your other voices related to the yod are coming out. Okay. So what do we do about that problem? Or about that reality? No, I think we're going to keep it. Ace just got to come up with, you know, a lot of voices are going to come to mind. Work through them, talk them out. And then when you're ready, Nash a good central point that you want to make. Uh-oh. B can also say that this was a bloody maj. B can say that this is a maj. That voice was not like a real thing. No, but a voice can... Oh, yeah. You can say it was a maj. Like, that's not... It's just not even... Like, what do I do with it? And what happens then? What happens if B says, yo, hey, that's a maj, dude. You're just, like, desperately grabbing whatever. Oh, you want to know whether it's a mala or a misa? Well, see, the thing is, though, that you can also just have a mala without the ajing, right? So this voice can just be wrong, right? And that's what we're exploring in these 7x7s that follow from B Brev Shop. So, gosh, I hope we're contributing something. I hope you're gonna sleep. I mean, it's not like we've uploaded this yet, but all right. No. You don't have to figure everything out in 2 hours. We're making progress. This might be nothing, and that's fine. YouTube has plenty of servers. Google has plenty of servers. So B can say that it sings. He can say that it sings, or he can say that it shopes, or he can say that it's a maj. If he says that it's a maj, if he just like says that it's an aj, it's not, the ma isn't actually important. It's the fact that it's an aj, isn't it? If he says it's an aj, so we just don't have a symbol for aj. So if he says it's an aj, and actually we'll probably end up using the symbol that we use for maj, because no, that's exactly what we're gonna do, isn't it? And then you can just say a malaj is just you put the symbol for mala and aj. So. But it is nice to be able to just say maj without like saying which one it is. You can... When do you talk about ajing? It's just a question of usage. When do you talk about ajing? When you're not complaining about it because you think it's a maj. Okay. So we'll use the symbol for Okay, so we'll use San. No, Tam. Tam. Oops. So, alright, so there you go. Okay, so if he says it's an Aj, let's talk about that possibility. If he says it's an Aj, then yeah, he does have to say B needs to say, well, to detail whether it's a mala or a misa. Okay. No, fuck. That's not. It's the mala or the misa. It's the, for any psa, it's a mala or a misa. Okay. It's about the alging. So what do you do if you think it's an aj? Physical contact, some fun. Okay. 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 Okay, so and then in the case of the physical fun following the lira, we need to know what happens. In the case of the physical fun, leave enough space following the the accusation of ajing. We need to know what's going to happen, and we still need to know what's going to happen if you know, if he's like, no, that so B has to say, right, so we did the 7x7s, and in the 7x7s there have to be 3 liras each in the responses, but also it needs to say, oh, I thought we were going to do this another time, but we should do it another time, shouldn't we? Fuck it. So, 3 liras, and you need to say where Samala, what's wrong with the voice? What's wrong with what A said? So you have to, in your 7x7, you have to, of course, okay, so in 7x7, in all of them, identify the Malay and or the Mise. Okay. So in your 7x7, of course, you have to identify the Malay and the Mise. So the Malay and the Mise that preceded whatever the voice that the person said. That, and here we're going to kind of assume a reasonable system. So we're going to say, okay, look, if you're saying that that's true, oh no, so it's not the Malay and the Mise actually, because we're not talking about psychological processes now. They need to identify what is true, what is kib, and yad Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I've been doing my ands and ors backwards. So this should be or, pa, pa, pa. And that day, pa, na. Okay, V, we have to remember it's like a V. Okay. So the thing that is Keeb and so the things, I guess, and the things that are how do you say false? Is it that big F? No. It's some old currency called the pfennig. Pfennig is false. Okay, so in the 7x7, you have to identify what is Keeb and what is false. No! God damn it, you do not need to identify what is Keeb. That's already part of the 3 lira. You couldn't identify what is Keeb either. Oh boy. You just have to identify what is false. Okay, so in the 7x7, identify what is false. And you have to label. I don't know a word for label. Label. So there has to be some sort of a numbering. Okay, so we have just more work to do. Okay, but we're speaking generally, so we can get into the details of what happens in the 7x7, which is the meat of it, but, you know, we need the bones first. Okay, so, or something. So, step 5 is going to be something we'll discuss. So the fun after the... Wait, why are they having fun? Why are they touching after the 7? Oh, no, that's not that at all. That's for the aging, right? Okay, so fun after the aging and I hope B isn't mean-spirited and he isn't just accusing Ajing so they don't have to take seriously what A's saying. Because I think now we're gonna go B says B brev voice 1. And then step 5 switched roles. A lost his chance. Harsh. That would probably be revised. Okay, and then for the lira physical contact, and then hey B. Oh, so then we're just gonna go straight to draw that arrow. Straight there. Boom. Look at that. You even made a nice little heart. Okay. With fun right there. Okay, so we had hit a lira. Alright, B. Do you. And then we admit D does the Irish, but hey, A can do the exact same thing. A can do the exact same thing. Go. Oh, you're Ajing. Okay. If roles already switched, step 6. What the fuck is step 6 gonna be? How many voices are we doing? No. Repeat for voices 2. There you go. So if rolls are already should repeat for voices 2, 3, etc. Up to 7. Up to 7. Surely by now you've agreed. Surely. Those 3 liras in all of your 7x7 responses, you must be tired too. That'll help you maybe figure out what's important. Be forced to be patient. You'll be too tired to aj. And then whatever imitation or semblance of reason exists in the mind will have its chance to shine. Shine is actually a word. It means to... that's so funny because so I'm saying that it will, any reason or good voice in there will have its chance to shine. Shining means to identify for someone a bad voice. So then the other person go, oh, thanks for shining that for me. Oh, I hadn't noticed that interpretive mechanism or that sort of move or that made no fucking sense. Thanks for shining that for me. So everybody gets to shine. The good voices get to shine. The bad voices get shined. I think I'm in a dream. But hopefully something good comes of this mania. So then you do your 7 voice and you're done. You're done, bro. So we didn't have step 7. We have a step 0 though, and then we also but other stuff gets repeated. Because that would make this step 7. So then it would like be step. Oh no, but then there are all these voices. No. So we don't want to. Step 5 is fine. 5 steps is good. Let's go 5 voices too. Let's go 5 voices. 5 steps. And we're going to get to hear 5 voices from each. And involved in this 5x5, we're going to be a bunch of 7x7s. And a lot of them are going to involve 3 liras. And then by this time, step 6. Review. Liras. What yod remains in mind? After all that, don't look at the notes now. But do you have any points of contention that you think exist? Because I'm realizing that if you do, if you've reviewed the lira and you still got some points of contention, things haven't settled between the two of you, then maybe you should run back to step 4A. Nash it. Should that even be a step? Yeah, no, I should be. Okay. So you nash it, and you hit that step 5 for that new yod. No. So we need to go back to the original yod. Step 7 is what yod remains. Okay. Gotcha. We've got our 7 steps. So step 6 is actually... Step 6, we're not going to review the lira. We're going to... Maybe it would be good to do that, but... You've experienced this with me. This is not just a story. You were here. Now, you know, some of the poetry and all of what I do, I was thinking like when I feel like there's like a little heart here. It almost seems like it could be a show. I'm probably just manic in the patterns that I'm seeing and the associations and the word play and all of that. Maybe it's not real. But it is magical. And what is real is this. I mean, you see it now. You've seen it. It took too long to get it in focus. You've already seen it. And I missed the moment to react together. Now, possibility 1 is that, gosh, I was just looking for a number of things. Well, no, 7 comes from that in the US, so in France, phone numbers are 8 digits. It's really great though because it's 4 pairs, and so you say like 19, 25, 11, 10, 88 or whatever is your phone number. That's an impossible phone number, that one, but whatever. I should maybe some secret government. Anyway, in the US, it's 3 digits followed by with a TI, a dash, followed by 4 digits, and it's 7. And there have been studies that show that 7 is the optimal, or is the ideal number for working memory. Working memory is able to retain 7 things, and these. Well, actually, I wasn't really thinking about the experiments. I was just thinking about, you know, that image that I have in my head of when I was reading the experiments and how it mentioned that's why U.S. phone numbers are great, because, which of course you might be thinking, well, now we always need to put in the area code. Of course, now memorizing phone numbers doesn't happen, but anyway, so I was thinking about phone numbers and I was thinking 7, because 7 is supposed to be good for working, easy for working memory, sort of the limit of the amount of information we can easily manipulate, 7 items. So that's where that came from. So if you're going to tell me that it's because I'm on, you know, we started here on page 73, 74, 75, and I had that number 7. It's possible that that's what triggered, but also this is a fact that I'm very, very aware of and something I often think about. Could the page number have triggered that? Yes, but I was trying to think of numbers that would. So, look, I think, I remain convinced that the 7 only, and look, you can't even see them. You can't even see them. Look how dark they are, or how, I only saw them because I'm writing down here. I only saw the 7. And this is the page that the 7 was introduced on. This now world-renowned concept. So you witnessed that. So possibility number 1, I got the number 7 from the pages. I was all the way up here though. But okay, 76. I had seen that when I was writing down there. Okay. But look, there are certain numbers that are important. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay. Those are numbers that are important, that have religious signification, or that are just like good in stories or something. 7 dwarves. 7 is like it's just a number that people like. 3, the Trinity, all that. Like, okay, forget 1 and 2. 3, 5, and 7 are, the brain likes these numbers. Likes to make 3 points, likes 3, 5, and 7. Okay. Not gonna have a fucking 4-step process. Wait a minute. No. Oh, no, the first time I came up with the sun was earlier. Oh, less than 8. Less than 8. Right. We were doing less than 8. So we had written 7. Currently, 7 is written nowhere on this page, except for the page number 75. And then when we committed to the 7, and we started writing 7 by 7, 7 by 7, 7 by 7, 7 by 7. Have you seen the movie 23? Is that what's happening? Anyway, you were there for that. So, this is so special, right? So this should be like a part 2, maybe. Okay, so step number 6 is to review the yod. We should have put yod 1, yod 1 prime, yod 1 double prime. Review yod 1. No, we shouldn't have done that. Fuck. Prime. Okay, so we need to be better about how to erase things, because otherwise it just looks like more symbols. Just a line through it. Okay, so we need to review the yod. We did each 5 voices. We review the yod. Where do we stand? Well, of course, we have to make a whole video about how to phrase the yod, and I have no idea how. So then if I don't know how to phrase, I don't know how I'm gonna know how to review it. But basically, where do you fucking stand? Review the yod, and can you turn that yod into a fucking lira and that shit? So review yod. How do you like say, oh, we have change or differ or something? Change, compare, relate, categorize, fit, repeat, detail, value, difference, difficulty, energy, importance. Oh, similarity. No, it's tasan. Similarity. So then, how do you say, like, transform something? Oh, change. We have change. Delta. Okay. So change yod into your grand fucking lira, bro, and nash it, and have some shekels. Okay. So change, put a accent on that to indicate it's a verb. Change yod. We'll put a definite bridge under that. So it's the yod into the fucking lira. And then that bridge underneath the lira doubles for a bridge above the shekel. So, and it can do double duty. So change I just want to make sure it's the definite. I put the definite article. Yes. And that's Pau. How can I have 2 pa? Pa means or. Okay, it's gonna be a big problem. Okay, anyway. It's the definite article. It's definite, okay. So right, so we've got change the yod into the lira, Nash. Oh, there's a period. Should be a period. Oh, we should make that a command. So we're gonna be like Nash idab. No, Nash dab. Double arches below. Nash dab. So Nash dab, period. And then shekel, which is fun. And then when you put a bridge like that above the character, it means all. Have all of the fucking fun. And you can even maybe have some shekels with your lover that you had this lira with. Oh, but then there's step 7. And there's step 7. Remaining, I don't have a symbol for that, maybe. Remaining. Oh, still existing. Existing. Gerund. It's going to be a double underline. No, double overline. Do. Yado. Yado? How do you say exist? Yo. Yodo. Yodo. Existing. Yods. Yodo yods. You were here for that as well. So. Oh, and then we'll put a dot underneath to say it's a question. So step number 7 is very, very simple. Ignore that. Step number 7 is the exist symbol, which means like live. And then you make it a gerund by putting a do on top, a double overline. So this is a Japanese symbol, I think. This is the Japanese backwards E. So it's yo, double overline do, and then, oh, but I didn't include the dot. The dot, to say that it's a question, is mitra. Not mitra. Nukta. Nukta. So, yo, do, nukta, yod, dia. There you go. Yodo nukta yodia. Yodo nukta yodia. Yodo nukta yodia. Yod dia. Yodo nukta yodia. So the question is, are there remaining yods? Points of contention. And then if so, bro, step 4. And there you go. You've got your 7. Oh, but it's kind of disappointing because it was cool to have 5. So should we just do 7 voices then? 5 to 7. So on step 5, you do 5 to 7 voices. Or that's okay. Step 5 is 5 voices. There's a 7-step process involving some 7x7s written on page 77. But on step 5, you only have to do 5 voices. The part where they talk about the 7x7. And there you go. So, I don't know who I'm going to try this with. What person disagrees with me on something is going to dare to tell me. But then this is what we're gonna do until we agree. Until we lira. And then you can leer your lira, because leer in French means to read. Because you gnashed it, didn't you? You gnashed the lira. And you did some gnashing there on the shekels. And she told you to stop using teeth. And then, just from the light of the cigarettes, you leer the lira to really revel in the moment. Oh, but then step 7. Then you have to see whether there's any yields. But you can leave step 7 for another day. But it is important, because I'm wondering, maybe you shouldn't have a step 7, right? If there's a yod, you kind of just start the whole process over again. But no, let's keep it within this context. Or I'm just ajing. I'm just majing because I really want there to be a step 7. But no, I keep saying but no, but maybe. But no, it's important to keep it relative, because this was one dispute and we had a main point of contention. And that's what this 7-step process is for. Now, if there's remaining ones, go ahead and cycle back through. But as we saw in step 6, we turned that initial yod into a lira. And then it's just like, hey, step 7 is psychologically might not be done yet. There might still be some issues. So that's this is because it's a system. It's a way to organize our thinking and our interaction. It's an idea for a way. This is you know what? If we don't put the emphasis on Eris like that, I'll feel more comfortable. And then we can still work my name in there without it shoping me too much. Because I think it'll, the fact that I've said this, it'll make it shop less for you. Dialeris. So you guys, so this is the Dialysis procedure. This isn't the Dialysis procedure. This is the first ever version of the Dialysis procedure. Did you see that before? I didn't. I promise you I didn't. I have to count my fingers. No. Still awake. But we had so much shekel, didn't we? That was amazing. How was your first just getting a tour of the Dialeris system? And it's basically the Dialeris system. Basically, the problem is in our relationships with other people, we've got all these yods. Ugh, yuck! Right? And basically, what we want to do is we want to try to, because naturally, we're not very good at, like, filtering that and turning that into something good, into some liras. And don't tell me that lira is a medical term for, I don't know. Into some liras, and well, anyway, it's not lost on you the brilliance. I call it a sparkle when things line up like that. No, it's fun. That's God letting us know we're on the right track. And we're right not to presume His existence. That's great. That's wonderful. Did I finish enough, though, what I was saying about the Dialeris? Yeah, so basically we need to clean some of this between us. Alarms are going off. Oh, everybody choked. Okay. Let's look at information. Oh, fuck. There's no empirical phase in there. That's part of the 7x7. Yeah, no. We mentioned that. That's part of the 7x7, the whole actual like facts, sources, stuff like that. Maybe you can have 7 sources. But yeah, so what was I saying? So just that thank you for this time together, for inventing this Dialeris machine with me. And now we just need to test it. And we need to see whether it can turn some Yod into some Lira. So, I guess I'll let you go then. It's really, really fun hanging out with you, and I'm really, really tired. I haven't eaten. And is that an okay note to finish this? It's just, I mean, the 7-7 thing was pretty big, no? So we'll get into details next time, but we've got a starting point. We've got a starting point. And we've got a name, and that's the most important thing. Isn't it? The Dialeris. The Dialeris. But yeah, Dialeris. Oh. Let me just say, maybe this is why I didn't want to let you go. Because I just wanted to really drive it home, the brilliance of the Dialysis name, or the not even the brilliance, just the coincidence. So for international dialysis is, well, I don't know what it is in French or any other language, and it could be Dialysis, or I don't know. But it's when your kidneys are no good, and so you go, you get hooked up to this machine, and it takes your blood out of your body, and I mean not all of it at once, but and it cleans it or whatever, filters it, and sends it back in. You got to sit on this thing for hours, by the way, and I've never understood how people could do that. People who have whose kidneys aren't functioning, and that's like part of their week that. Well, I know nothing about this except for literally just the words that I've said. And I've run out of words that I can feel at all confident about. But there's something about hours. No idea how many days per week they have to do it. But it's a pretty intense regular thing. As is this. Just as important, more important. Definitely more important, because this is for 2 people. This is 2 people Dialeris. Okay? Dialysis is one person gig. This is 2 people. That means 2 people are coming out of this, all leered up, having gnashed some leers, having sheckled. Whereas the other one just coming out of it really tired and feeling like a burden or something. So an even more impressive machine. Okay, good night.